Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sam with Small Couch Reviews. Now, I know the world is eagerly awaiting the release of Steel Ball Run on a consistent basis, but I just finished Stone Ocean finally, so I want to talk about the JoJo series I have seen up to date and rank them. Now, for those who don't know, I'm actually kind of new to the JoJo's game, which I talked about in this video up here, where I talked about my experiences up to Golden Wind. So check that out to get my more detailed thoughts on each of the series so far. In this video, I want to rank the series, the protagonists, and the antagonists. Now, it's weird, as popular as this series is, I actually don't know too many people who I could have bounced these ideas off of. So if you are a part of the JoJo's fandom and you watch this, let me know if what I'm saying is way off or if it's, consistent with the general consensus. So, best series, and there may be some recency bias here, but I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna say Stone Ocean. It's the only one where I didn't have to get used to anything, learn to like anyone, learn any kind of battle systems. From its first minute, I loved its prison escape narrative to what that developed to. Loved every character, loved the antagonist. Literally loved every minute of every episode up until those last 10 minutes of the final episode, which I just thought was okay. Not really a fan of them kind of losing and then winning another way. I wasn't rocking with that. Next, I'm gonna go to Battle Tendency. I don't actually think this is a great series, but I hated Phantom Blood so much. And when I saw Joseph go,
or perhaps not.
it literally saved the series for me. That is the only reason I continued watching, so I'm gonna give it its flowers. Third is gonna be Stardust Crusaders. Now, I was really debating this fourth slot between Diamond is Unbreakable and Golden Wind, because my favorite part of both series has nothing to do with the JoJo's. I don't think it's controversial to say people probably really don't like Giorno. We were there for the music and Bucciarati and his crew. Shout out to Narancia. But yeah, Giorno and Diavolo, who I hated as a villain, so no. Fourth will go Diamond is Unbreakable, fifth will go Golden Wind, and then sixth will go to the one I hate the most, Phantom Blood. Ranking the JoJo's protagonists. Now, I am certain, as with every anime, people smarter than me have debated this for hours already, so let me say this is my list, okay? And my favorite JoJo is gonna be Joseph. Of them all, outside of maybe Jonathan, I'd say he's probably the most prototypical heroic. And he is hilarious. Battle Tendency, even though I don't think it was narratively a great season, he had me laughing. And then the Stardust Crusaders, watching him find unique ways to use his stand, which you would think would be useless in battle, watching that just showed how smart and how good of a fighter he is. So it's my man's. Next up is gonna be Jolene Cujo. Yeah, just her attitude and her confidence, man, that it just, oh my gosh, it just leaked through. And I actually watched that season in dub and I didn't hate it, so that should tell you a lot too. After Jolene, I'm gonna go with Josuke. He took a little while to grow on me, but once they started hunting Kira, and then you saw how devoted he was to helping out his friends and those close to him, man, he really, really grew on me. His episode when he had to save Rohan and outrun Highway Go-Go, I watched that as my comfort episode. I put that on just to, turn my brain off and enjoy it pretty often. Next up is going to be Jotaro. I remember when Jotaro first came through, when he was introduced to Stardust Crusaders and we saw him. That's in that moment I remember thinking, okay, this is probably why people like this show. He is that brooding anti-hero caricature that we all like, and the fact that he is extra cool just adds to it. Even though I hated his series the most, I'm not going to put Jonathan last here. I'm actually going to add him in my fifth slot. When I went back and watched a couple of episodes from Phantom Blood, I was reminded of just how much he went through and where he ended up. He was, a pretty admirable protagonist. And then we're going to end with Giorno. Honestly, I feel his show would have been fine without him. Now, ranking the JoJo's antagonists, this took me a little longer than I thought it would. I know who I liked the most and I know who I hated the most, but everything in between, it was a little difficult. So, from best to worst, Yoshikage Kira. Oh man, what a unique villain. His stand, Killer Queen, is my favorite stand. Being real, it is honestly a cheat code, he should not have lost. But outside of that, him as a character, he's just fascinating to me, bro. He could, if he wanted to, be so much more successful, so much more famous, so much more rich, right? But he doesn't want any of that. He wants to work a regular 9 to 5, have a lower middle class income, and then just kill people on the side. He just doesn't want to go. I'll never forget when they went to his house and he has like third place trophies all over the place. And you could just tell it's like, well, he avoids the spotlight because he just wants a quiet life. I think that's actually the name of one of the episodes. He just wants a quiet life where he can just go to work, come home, and then be a serial killer on the side. Next up, of course, is going to be the biggest hater since Eobard Thawne, Dio. Now, I actually didn't really care for him in Phantom Blood at all. It wasn't until Stardust Crusaders that I was like, you know what, Dio might be kind of cool, you know, with the world. But yeah, I mean, he is the catalyst for pretty much all the bad things that are happening in the series, so gotta give it to him. Whitesnake and Poochie, great stand pair there. He's probably the one who I was like most afraid of. You know, I felt the show kind of tried to make Diavolo and Dio seem like these supernatural, unbeatable like demons, right? But Poochie could legit like snatch your soul away, man. Now, the only reason he's not higher is because his entire motivation is something Dio told him like 20 years ago. And it just felt a little weird to me that he thought actually listening to that man would get him to heaven. So next up, Diavolo. I never really felt like this guy was a threat. And also the way they ultimately dealt with him in the end, I thought was pretty dumb. And then he himself, he was like the architect of his own fate. If he were smarter, he would have avoided all of this and there wouldn't have been a season. So I didn't like him. And then finally, we're gonna go with the Pillarmen from Battle Tendency. Honestly, I don't even remember their names. I didn't like them at all. And I'll just leave it there. So yeah, those are my lists. Like I said, let me know what you think. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. And until next time, I'm out.